Hi, I'm Franz of the Franz Experience. I'm glad that you've decided to join us today. We've had many exciting segments, some that are really tear-jerking, but we get down to the real talk about what's needed here in the world, what we need individually, collectively, and just to make it a better place. So today we're discussing business, okay? Business is something that I enjoy, something that I have, and something that I want you to have and treasure for years to come. You see here many different books. There's a lot of books that we've read over time. It's time to put the books down, okay? It's time to act on those ideations and thoughts that we've had for many years and say, hey, look, it's time. It's time to implement this new idea, this passion that I've just held inside for many years. And I said, oh my gosh. You ever have an idea, a concept, and you thought about it years ago, and now it's just this big seller? How do you feel? How did it make you feel when you saw that business idea implemented by someone else? Did you say, they stole my idea, what's going on here? I don't believe it. No, people are also thinking some of the same thoughts. But what they did was they put pen to paper, and in this case, you don't necessarily need pen to paper. You can definitely use your devices, your laptops, your phone. You can use the audio on your phone and record your ideas down. But when you're going throughout your day and you think of something that would definitely be implemented and help the world, write it down. Go after that idea. Find out what it needs to, what's needed to get you to that next level of business, of feeling completed by just saying, okay, let's talk today's day and time. Masks, right? Now, through this pandemic, we've had to wear masks pretty much everywhere we go. And masks come off, they fall off, we lose them. I was in this store the other day and there was someone who had come up with the idea of having the straps. It's pretty much the same straps that you use on eyeglasses, but there's a mask behind it. There's some marketing behind it. It says, hey, buy this and you'll never lose your mask. Many people have probably purchased them, but it was an idea. It was something that they went after. And I think if you can have one person to say, oh, we definitely need that, then it's a success. How much of a success is also determined by you. It's determined by how much implementation, how much time you're putting into this business. Is it local? Is it global? These things are definite things I want to talk to you about. But as we get into a deeper conversation around who is it for, who's your audience, in which I'll tell you what, why don't you do this? Why don't you jot this down? Go to www.thefranzexperience.life. Subscribe. Send me an email at franzexperience@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, ideation. It's one of my favorite words. I love that word. Put in that subject line, ideation. Put dash, I need your help. Let's talk. We can set up private sessions to have a conversation in regards to the depth of your business or your idea that you have. And we can go step by step into what's the next things that's needed to help implement this business. Is this something that's going to be a corporation, a sole proprietorship? Are you going to be an LLC, a limited liability company, not for profit, for profit? These things we want to dive into understanding what it is exactly you're looking to achieve. Some of you have not-for-profit organizations and you're just not sure how to go about implementing the next steps and processes. I will be the first to tell you, each step, I don't know every last detail of the step, but what I do have is a network of individuals who work with me that can help you establish those intricate details. So let's share this as an example. I'm not a surgeon. I do not know the first thing about establishing my own practice. but I do have individuals who do. So when you're thinking about, I've worked at this hospital for many years, I've been this surgeon, and I want to take it to another level. I have ideas of my own. I want to establish certain cultures of my own within my business. I want to travel and work globally with some of the doctors in other countries. How do I go about doing that? That's where I come in. That's where my network of individuals come in. And that's how we get you to those parts. Some of the things when we think about global businesses and global partnerships, we have to understand the cultures and backgrounds of other countries. We have to respect them. We can't just go there and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to help them. No, they're helping you, okay? So we have to really understand and respect those different variables that come into play when we're looking at establishing businesses, whether or not it's locally or globally. Believe me, I've had the experience. I've done it. I'm not just speaking on it, okay? Well, let's just say this. I'm not a surgeon. I've not done that part. But I've definitely dove in and established some wonderful relationships globally, and we still have them today. But I'll tell you what, I want to see you do the same thing. I want to see you achieve just greatness. Your ideas, they're beautiful. I've heard many of you share with me some of the businesses that you've established. But the things that we haven't got into is the paperwork, the details, how there's funding that's out there for you. Business owners that have dove into the world of technology, businesses that have been established for years, but they haven't had any type of business online. Everything was pretty much a cash-based business. How to take those businesses and those products and services and make them visible to the world. We can help. Dive into www.thefranzexperience.life. Subscribe. We evolve to what's needed. So what I wanted to share with you, again, this is a quick segment, just to kind of plug in. You're going to actually see later this month a interview with quite a few individuals. Hopefully I'm able to get quite a few individuals who will share their story in regards to their experiences of overcoming breast cancer. I would like to do another segment in general on breast cancer in general, where there are many men who have survived this as well. So I'd like to hear from you if you're a survivor of a form of cancer. I'd like to speak with you, and right at this moment I'm speaking about our gentleman because I'm looking to have a segment later on this month about breast cancer awareness. So if you're out there and you have quite a story to tell and you want to have someone listen, contact me. Again, at www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you've been bumped on course. So now, coming back to the business aspect of things. This is a tip I'm going to share with you just right now. Many of you who have worked with me and I've worked with you and helping you get those ideas going. The first thing to do, jot down what it is that you think and believe is a good idea. You've had it for years. Don't rethink it. Jot it down. That's right. Jot it down. Take a minute. If you're watching this on your phone, open up the notepad on there. Pause this. You can come back to it, toggle onto a new screen, split the screens, however you need to do it, but do that. Okay, now jot down that business name or idea, concept that you have. Great. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to www.irs.gov. That's right, irs.gov. Now, if you've jotted down the name of a business and you're like, you know what, I love this name. I want this name. I'm going to have it. There's no way I'm not going to be able to use this business name. Well, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of businesses that are out there that may have that business name. So you want to make sure and check and see if that name is actually taken. So in the irs.gov, you can search entities. Okay. So search that name of the business. Okay, once you've searched it, you pretty much want to understand, okay, is the business name available? If it is, jot it down. It doesn't cost you a thing to establish an EIN number, an employee ID number. Just like how you have a social security number, there's an EIN number. It doesn't cost anything to register the name of the business. That way it holds that name for you. Okay. You'll get something in the mail later that says, okay, this is the number to the name of your business. And for the most part, you've started those first steps of establishing your business. You may have been out here doing some of the activities that are involved in the business, but what you haven't necessarily done is put everything in what we call a portfolio, a business plan, okay? Resolutions, corporate resolutions, okay? Bylaws of a business. There's a lot of intricate factors, but again, I'm going to have different segments on this, but you can actually subscribe to us and share with us in the subject line, ideation. And we will set up small individual, small groups of consulting, and we can help you dive into really understanding how your business is going to work. How do we go step by step into establishing this business? Many of you have been running a business for years, okay? And it's very successful, but you've never had an EIN number for it. You've never had corporate resolutions. You never have established the ownership percentages because you have partners. These things are going to help you and protect you. They're your bylaws. This is what's going to help you understand the depth of your business and your services. The reason why you need these things, because there's a lot of funding out there that says, hey, you know what? We are supportive of your ideas and we want them. And there's funding for it. So let me help you with that. Okay. Next, what does your business do? Who's your audience? So, bullet point format, what is the business? What does it do? How do you generate income? Or how do you generate an audience if it's not a for-profit organization? These things we will get very detailed into as we do our consulting and as we have one-on-one discussions and those mind-jerking questions and conversations. These are things that I want to help you with. I have my executive MBA from Fox, and where we pretty much had to establish a business. Some of us have already had businesses established for years, work in other organizations as executives, and we also run our own business. So many of us had some ideas, but we had what we call, it's innovation when we had to create a business, when we had to have partners. And I thought it was one of the most intense but yet fun projects that we've had to embark on. And I think that this is an exercise that we will definitely do, because here's the deal. What are your plans with your business? Do you have an idea here? You want to create it, okay? Do you plan on running this business? Or you just have an idea and you want to do what? Sell the business? It's called exit strategies, right? Or do you have a business that you want to establish and you don't know really about how to go about getting funding for this? Do you need angel investors? Who do you need? Who are your key players? How to go about doing that? These are things that I want you to think about, and I want you to contact me, okay? So I've shared with you some food for thought. about your ideations. And I know you have some amazing, amazing ideas. I'd love to hear them. Some of you have been running and established businesses for years, and they've been very successful. But you've never established an EIN number for it. Okay, I'll tell you this. There's a balance. Many of you say, well, you know what? Why do I need to let the IRS know what I'm doing? Believe me, they'll know what you're doing one way or another. And then you're figuring, well, if I make it seem like I make less than what I do, you know, maybe I'll get a couple of breaks. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do and falsify any documentation. I mean, that's something legally, I'm not getting into that. But what I'd like to tell you is, one way or the other, it balances out. Some of you have had businesses and wanted to eventually establish some form of credit in your business space, but you pretty much have declared no form of income, but your business has had income. I'm not an accountant. We're not going to go into that. I do have accountants. If you like to speak to one or a few of them, maybe we can have them on a segment at one point in time to discuss the different ways that you want to look at how you want to move forward with your business. But when we think of all these different thoughts, it seems like a lot. But again, there's a path. There's steps to take. But the first thing I want you to do again is write down your idea, that beautiful, wonderful idea that you've shared with me, okay? If those of you who haven't shared them with me just yet, I'd like for you to do so. Again, www.THEFRANZexperience.life, okay? We have these discussions, they are private. Many of you have shared ideas. I'll go into a segment. Many of you have shared ideas and concepts with individuals, and yes, some of them have been implemented, and you feel as though there's been some wrongdoing there. You can do what we call a non-compete agreement when you share some of this information. There's a lot I have to share with you, but you have to contact me, okay? I'm excited to share all this information with you. But first, let's jot down the idea, bullet point what it is that your business does. If you have the name, you've written down the name, you've gone to irs.gov, you've searched to see if that entity name is taken. If it's not, that's wonderful. But also, I'll tell you this, if the entity name is taken, there's a way to be creative. We have 26 letters in the alphabet. Is there a way to take one letter and change it to make it sound the same? Is that doable? That's a thought, right? That can be a simple fix. It's up to you. I'm just here to help cheer you on. I think it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. A lot of us are home and we have these ideas through the pandemic. I just want to say that this pandemic has definitely left some pain points for many of us. But I sure hope that you've taken this time to implement some of the most beautiful ideas that you've had. And now you're just not sure what to do with them. If you're a writer, if you're in the if you're in the art world, you're an artist, musician, you like to draw, you also need to establish your business. If you're a writer, you need to establish that because there's funding as well out there for you. I'll tell you what, I don't like to look and search for these funds. There are individuals that are out there, they're called grant writers. That's right, grant writers. They help you. And we can get you in contact with a few of those as well. But I tell you, years of running a business, whether it was my own or within an organization and a corporation, in which if you're a manager, you should be running that business as if it were your business. It's the best way to go about it. But I tell you what, years of running a business, you know exactly what it takes to run your business. When you're running a business for another organization, you know exactly what it takes to run that business. It's no different than running your business. What I do want to say is the time that you're putting into the business that you're working for as an employee, one thing you don't want to do, you want to make sure that when you're in that office, you're devoting yourself to what it is that you're getting paid to do. The last thing you want to do is be in an office and focusing on your ideas and your plan. Now, if that's the type of business that you're working for and they want ideas, constant ideas, there's a lot of different businesses out there that are like that. They want to establish many platforms, and that's great. But if there's a business that you're employed with and they have a mission, a culture, you have an objective, please just make sure you're diving into what it is that they are actually offering and what your job is in your description. Make sure you're doing that. You do not want to cross them. Also, make sure that if you have a business, for an example, if you're in the world of finance, but you've written a few books, you enjoy poetry, I don't really see where there's a conflict of interest, okay? But double check and see if there are conflicts of interest of what you're actually partaking into. Because sometimes there are, and you want to make sure that that's not something that you want to, you don't want to go down that path. So there's a lot of key factors, but your passions are the best thing that you can ever have. Okay? One of the things that I'm passionate about is advocating for traumatic brain injuries. I am a survivor of post-concussion syndrome. I've written a book about it, my experiences. It's called Bumped. You can actually find that on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles online. You can order it online. I actually have some copies, so you can actually email me at www.thefranzexperience.life. Subscribe and send me an email, okay? The email address actually is thefranzexperience@gmail.com. That's FRANZ experience@gmail.com, and I can get an autographed copy of my book over to you. But you can download it on Kindle, and you can look at it right on Amazon Prime. I believe there's free delivery, but if you'd like an autographed copy, I can definitely supply that for you. But that was something that I was definitely passionate about, okay, because it happened to me, and I thought, wow, there are a lot of individuals that have no idea what happened to them. I said they need to know. And the only reason why I knew what happened is because I had to reread my book. I had a doctor tell me, therapist said, hey, jot down everything that's happening to you and then write a date on it. I took envelopes, napkins, cell phones, tablets, it didn't matter, whatever it was, and I wrote down my experiences and the date. Later, my friends and family, my children, they actually helped me put everything together. And what we established was a book. This book would later help me remember what happened to me. But I felt that every person that got a copy of that book, I felt like I got a larger part of myself back. Because I felt that those things that occurred to me weren't just for me to experience alone. They're for me to share. My most vulnerable parts, okay, as an educator, as a mother, those things I've pretty much shared my ups and downs with the world. Who would I be if I couldn't share those things with you? So I believe that those past pains were passions, and I've used them as fuel to help others. If it's one life we save, we've accomplished the goal. In my case, I've been blessed to say that I've helped many, many lives, locally and globally. It's a beautiful feeling. And I know you have something similar yourself. So let's have that beautiful feeling together. Don't hold it in. You're so, so brilliant. I want you to know you are brilliant. And the world is just waiting for your ideas. We're just waiting. I'm waiting. So come on. Be a part of the experience. That's www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you've been bumped on course. The show that evolves with what's needed. I look forward to seeing you again. I look forward to having you in my class. That way we can talk years down the line about how you have come up with this idea. You've employed thousands of individuals. Or just one. Either way, it's a great number. And it's a great start. So jot it down. Jot down that name of the business. Do an audio and say, okay, these are the things that I want this business to do. Jot it down. That's a start. That means you're starting your business. That means those years of thinking about it are no longer. You are in implementation phase. You're creating it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. So do this with me. Contact me again. And let's set up a private session. Whether it's with your group, your church, individually, doesn't matter. But contact me. Don't put it off. Okay. Cheers. I want you to have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. This is Franz at the Franz Experience.